Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So today we're gonna finish drafting our upper body patterns. In my last video I showed you how to draft a bodice pattern, and in this video I will show you how to draft a basic sleeve pattern based on that block, which means the bodice. So if you didn't watch that video where I showed you how to draft the front and the back bodies, you can go ahead and watch it first, then came back to finish drafting your pattern. And of course, I will leave the link of that video in the description box. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Here we need to connect the shoulder sleeve points of front and the back bodies. For me, it's point F3 and A4. Mark the center of this line and draw a vertical line from this center into C5. C5 is the point that connects the front and the back bodies. The measurement of this line is the height of the armhole. Now that we get that measurement, let's start drafting the sleeve. So draw a vertical line in the center of the paper. Mark point A. Then measure the sleeve length. Name it point B, for example. Measure the middle point of the line AB. Then mark 4 cm downward. Call it point C. So point A is the shoulder point, C is elbow height, and B is the wrist height. From point A, mark the height of the armhole, or we call it also the cup height. It's point D. We're gonna draw horizontal lines from points A, D, C, and B. So calculate the bicep width by using the formula 3/8 of the bust measurement minus 1 cm and divide the result by 2. Mark the measurement on each side of point D, and let's call it D1 and D2. Now calculate 1/8 of the bust measurement plus 0.5 cm for ease, and then divide the result by 2. Mark it on each side of point D. Draw 2 vertical lines from these new points. And mark the intersection between these lines and the shoulder line. Let's call it point A1 and A2. Measure the center of the line A1A and mark this point A3. Do the same for A and A2. Find the middle and call it point A4. Mark the middle of the line A3 and the middle of the line A4. We call it A5 and A6. Divide this line by 2 and mark it E1, for example. Mark the other point E2 and measure 1 cm up and mark it E3. This side here will be the back side of our sleeve, and the other one is the front side. Connect point A3 with E3 and connect point A4 with E1. Measure the distance A to A4 and mark that measurement on the line A4, E1. Now measure the distance A to A5 and mark that measurement on the line A3, E3. Connect the point A6 to the point on the line A4, E1 and do the same to the point A5 connected with the point on the line A3, E3. As you can see, the sleeve cap is starting to form a shape. Now you can go ahead and elongate the line A3, E3 to use it as a guideline. Draw a square as so, and measure 4 cm. Do the same for the back, but this time mark 4.5 cm. Now let's draw the curve. In this part here, I will try to soften the lines to draw the sleeve cap. Then I will connect the points from E2 to D1 and from E1 to D2 with a curved line. Once we are happy with the results, we will go ahead and shape the other parts. So mark half of the wrist measurement on each side of the point B. Connect these points with D1 and D2. Because this is a basic block, I'm not taking in consideration the ankle point. But it's fine because we can manipulate this block as we wish once we decide which style we want to sew. Now let's test the sleeve cap length to see if it fits the body's armhole or do we need to fix it. Also, we will mark the notches. So this is the body's block we drafted in the previous video. So I'm measuring from the 1/3 point to the side point. We call it C5. We will use this measurement to mark the front notch on the sleeve. Now measure from the head of the sleeve, we call it point F3 to C5. And we will use this measurement to verify if the cap fit perfectly or not. And measure from point C5 to C3 for the back notches. The last measurement is from the other sleeve head, which is A4 to C5. From D2, mark the measurement we took for the front notch. And from point D2, mark the second measurement for the back notch. From that mark, measure 0.5 centimeter on each side of this point and mark the double notch. I have a little situation here. The camera was moving, but I didn't pay attention, so I ended up not filming this process. I know it's a little bit silly, but bear with me. I'm still learning. So basically what I did is measure the back of the sleeve cap starting from point D1, and I marked the measurements I get from measuring the body's back armhole. Then I did the same for the front. I measured from point D2 and marked the measurement I get by measuring the body's front armhole. As you can see, I ended up with 3 extra centimeters, which is totally normal because naturally the sleeve cap is longer than the armhole, and that's what gives us space for ease. So this excess basically is the ease we will work with when we sew the sleeve in its place. So what we're gonna do is we will gather the fabric in the top of the sleeve from notch to notch. And because it's not too much excess, this gathered fabric won't be so visible. But if you ended up with so much difference, like 5 centimeters or more, then I suggest you go back to your armhole and play a little bit with your curves. Try to deepen it a little bit in the shorter side. And that's pretty much it. Now you have basic pattern blocks you can work with to create your desired style. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I will try to answer it to the best of my ability, of course. And if you enjoy watching this kind of videos, why not consider subscribing? I'm planning to make more of it in the future. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day.